Nice.
What's up, creative? Steve Jones Jr. here, back with another episode of This Is the Moment podcast. Yo, we going up north with my man, LA Buckner. What up, boy?
Man, I'm excited to be here with you, bro. I appreciate you for having me, for sure.
Bruh, sure. Man, we're approaching 2 years of the pandemic. Did you think this was going to last this long?
I heard, when it first popped off, I heard, well, we won't be back in concerts until the fall of 2021, fall of 21. And this was back in the very beginning of 2020. Mm-hmm. And we was like, dang, that's so far away. But it kind of came back. Things came back a little bit, but Muggs, I read a tweet the other day that said COVID didn't go anywhere. It said people just stopped getting tested on the regular. So I was just like, oh, that's how we saw all these, places open back up, and are we going back to normal? And then the cases just increase. You know what I'm saying? Because Muggs stopped getting tested. So I'm not here to say whether you need to be getting tested or vaccinated or anything like that, because I don't want to. That's not a hill that I'm trying to die on, right? I do know there's I'm trying to be safe though. I'm trying to do whatever I can do to be safe. I just had my wife and I, we just had our first child. So having a newborn at the crib is just it's way different, being around folks, or, you operate differently, with this stuff. But I'm not trying to talk about COVID. I'm trying to talk about creativity, Black folks, and artists.
Dude, you let the people know where you're from, man.
I'm born and raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minneapolis, we're not known for what we used to be known for. Minneapolis used to be the land of musicians, Prince, and Mint Condition and Stokely, and but in the last few years, Minneapolis has been known for this is the place where the police killed George Floyd. This is where the police killed Philando Castile. Before that, but even before that, this is where the police killed Jamar Clark, a block away from my crib.
No.
You know what I'm saying? This is where, just on the day of the George Floyd case verdict, the day that they made that decision, another Black boy was killed, Dante Wright, and they just finished that here in Minnesota. So just being a Black person in this state where half the population is over the age of 55 and white, you know what I'm saying? Just being as Black as I am, being in the state is very, very peculiar, bro. It's very different. It's very heavy every day. Even if I don't want to live this life to carry this burden of whatever, it's heavy, bro. It's heavy. And Mugs don't realize it until, they hear from, or they see, another dead Black man from the police in Minneapolis. Oh, that's what it's really like. So, them are only the cases that make international news, but it's everyday living where I walk into the restaurant with my mom and it go completely silent because folks is looking like, you don't have to deal with that in Detroit, in Nashville, in Atlanta, in Chicago, in Blacker cities, you know what I'm saying? In more culturally vibrant cities, you know what I'm saying? Well, we got a lot of culture here, but it's light though. It's light. It ain't like the real flavor where cities with mostly Black people are at, you know what I'm saying? So I come from Minnesota, I'm from the north side Minneapolis. I come from Minneapolis, North Minneapolis. That's always been the Blackest part of the whole entire state. Yeah. I work. Yeah, I'm currently at my alma mater, my high school, North High School. You know what I'm saying? Where I graduated from. I'm teaching here now, and we still the Blackest school in the state. You know what I'm saying? And the least amount of money, budget and funding, but that's intentional. That's on purpose. Come on. Anyway, that's where I'm from.
How is it for life to come full circle for you? Did you be teaching at your alma mater?
It's such a blessing. It's so great in so many ways, and it's so challenging in so many ways, but first and foremost, like, I'm blessed to even be here with these students. You know, I was teaching in white schools for a real long time, and access and budget really make a difference, you know, with the students that we're dealing with. You know, other in white schools, you got jazz musicians, like kids who are gigging right now on that level, like playing. But when you come to the hood, and music has been robbed from schools, music has been taken out of schools since before I graduated, you know.
Right.
Since before that time, music was on the decline. You come here and it's like, I'm teaching a general music exploration class, teaching the beginnings of drums, beginning piano, beginning bass, beginning, because these students didn't have band programs like that in their school. So it's like, it's kind of like a reset, you know. But I'd rather be working with these kids than any other kids, these students than any other students in the world, just because this is where the culture is. This is where the flavor is, you know. And I told the staff and the students when I first got here, beginning of the year, like, North, we always been the best at everything. Like, our basketball team, our football team, our cheerleaders is the loudest. Our teachers always winning all these awards. We dress the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, our families, our parents are the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, we always, and that's a culture of greatness that just you are born into when you come to this school. You know what I'm saying? So Muggs got to realize we got to step into that. We got to walk in our calling, walk in the legacy. You know what I'm saying? So being here, teaching here at the school, it's surreal, because my life changed multiple times in these very classrooms, in these hallways. I know I remember several things that really shaped who I am as a person. You know what I'm saying? And I think the teaching, what I'm learning, Steve, what I'm learning is the subject matter. The teaching is secondary to the relationship, or to the nonverbals that the students are picking up, the way I respond to adversity, or the attitude that I have. You know what I'm saying? That's what the students are paying attention to, more so than this is how you do a paradiddle. This is the key of C. This is the C. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is that the subject matter is secondary to the connection in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it's great to be here at my old high school, teaching here.
When did you grow this passion for teaching? Like, where did it start at? Or where do you think it started at?
That's a great question. I be thinking about that too. Even like when we're all jamming together, all my drummer homies or musician friends, like, even when we would be playing, you know, somebody got the keys to their church and we there at 11 p.m. and we just going and we playing
all night long.
I would always feel the urge to kind of construct what's happening, or the homies will always look at me and be like, lead us to like what we doing next, what's going on, like how we gonna make it dope. You're like, well, you know what I'm saying? And I think that is where that passion is drummed up. You know what I'm saying? But I started teaching at my church. I told you, bro, church gonna teach you how to do anything dealing with folks, dealing with people, any social interaction, activity, team working, saying your ideas, the delivery of your ideas, talking to people, relationships. Church gives you all of that, bro. I started teaching bucket drums at my church. 30 kids, all different ages, from ages 3 to 14, different skill levels, abilities. It's like that was like being trained. That was the trenches. That was the jungle. I had to be trained. You know what I'm saying? So now that experience trained me to go teach. Like when I'm working with like some fourth graders or whatever, like, oh, this is cake. Everybody on the same level. Oh, boom, boom. So I got my teaching start at church. I started teaching one-on-one lessons at my church. I started teaching group ensembles at church, and that translated to the community partnership. This lady from this this teaching company saw me, this music school. Oh, we got to have you here. Boom, boom, boom. I did that for 6 years. Now, you know, I'm teaching at high schools, and now I'm teaching at a college. I'm teaching I was teaching a college ensemble how to be in a band, right? A contemporary music ensemble. Like, that's a practical skill that mugs needed. And these professional students, these kids, that's what they want to learn. So altogether, I've been teaching like 10 years professionally, but this is my first like 9 to 5 teaching job. Like wake up and I gotta be at staff meetings and attendance and a data entry and spreadsheets. And
Hey,
man, I'm an artist, bro. I'm a drummer first. You know what I'm saying? So like having to, the biggest challenge is having to learn that language, the data, the entry, the data entry, the spreadsheets, the numbers, the calculation, the grading, the grade book, all of that, attendance, all of that. That's the biggest challenge for me, is adjusting to that. But the teaching it's a gift, bro. It's a gift from God that I have to share, teach. And honestly, I'll be trying to get as much as I'm giving too, because when teaching, I like to call it sharing, because it's a even exchange. If it happens the right way, I have some information from this thing that I've been doing my whole life that I want to share with y'all, but I know y'all got interpretations and perspectives that I need to adjust my whole thing with. Like honestly, teaching beginner lessons is some of my favorite lessons, because they ask you questions you ain't never even heard before, or they say things that I was like, oh, I never thought of it like that. Yeah, exactly like that. This lady, she's one of my faithful students now, and she's older, and she's very super smart. She's a librarian, and she said, well, when you're playing the drums and like to the song, I got the tracks blasting out the monitors, so we play on top of the song. She said, it's so satisfying to just hit and hear. I was just like, yes, it is. That's the perfect word. It is incredibly satisfying to when you hit a song you love and it's about to crash, the cymbal, and you hit it, and that feeling, like it's incredibly satisfying. So I call it a teaching experience, just a sharing experience, because I get so much language and lingo and swagger from these students that they don't even know. And I know they're picking up things from me as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah. Hey, you gotta forgive me, Steve, because I'll be rambling, bro. I just go.
No, you're fine, bro. This is perfect, bro. Yo, me and my mom talk about this a lot. How our generation, we lack a lot of patience. Like we're the microwave generation, everything we can get literally
100%.
2 minutes, 2:30, and
100%.
we can get it like that. But when it comes to creating, we have that ability as well. And it's like a lot of times people miss steps to building that substance. Like how, as a creative, to you, how important is it to just be patient and trust the process with what you're building?
Yeah, I love that question. I love that. Funny anecdote. My wife, marriage is about your differences, right? Not about your similarities, not about the stuff y'all got in common. It's like how y'all learn to live with the differences that kind of drive each other crazy, right? So I'm very big picture. I'm very like motion, let's go, whatever we got to do to get there, let's make it happen. Boom. My wife is very detailed and very, piece by piece, and make sure everything is in order. Boom, boom, boom. And she told me one time, she was like, yeah, our differences, like, yeah, you may get really far or you may get a lot of different stuff done. But she said, but there'd be holes in it. They'd be kind of like, I was like, dang. Or it kind of janky a little bit. It's not all the way to the fullest potential of killing, right? She said, I may not get as much done, but my stuff be together. It'd be there. It'd be neat. It'd be in order. It'd be orderly. I'm like, okay. So to your question, that creative process and just like taking your time, not rushing through, being a microwave generation. I'm talking to myself, being a student of the microwave generation. We can learn how to balance both of those states of being, whether we're very detailed and slow motion, or whether I'm big picture and I want to zoom. There's certain times in your career, in your creative journey, where you have to learn how to apply both of those feelings, right? Trusting the process. Erykah Badu said it the best. she said, creatives, we have to go through buffering periods. We have to go through, when your video, it has to buffer, it pause, and like there's more information that has to load before it can play again. She said, as creatives and artists, like we definitely, she said, I don't believe in no creative blocks or no writer's block, or I just can't get it. It's just like, nope, we got to let some more information load. You know what I'm saying? So that's a part of trusting the process, like you said. There's a conversation that you need to have. There's a recipe that you need to try. There's a movie you need to see. There's a book you need to read. There's a show you need to see. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something, there's some inspiration that needs to be drummed up inside of you before that next creative thing can come forth. So that's a part of trusting the process. It's like looking for, I can't just drum all day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta be interested in, I gotta play the 2K. I gotta talk to, you know what I'm saying? It's creative energy. You gotta use it elsewhere because those other things inspire, I gotta get in the kitchen. I gotta cook. Because cooking is like, it's mad creative. It's mad improvisational. It's so improvisational. Yeah, you have a recipe and a guide, but like, who's to say you can't add a little more pepper right there just because that's how you like it? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we have to try new things. That's a part of trusting the process too. Not completely just being glued into that specific form of creation and art, but like spreading yourself out a little bit to shake it off and refocus on whatever you're trying to do,
When it comes to musically, we have, our generation has like listed everything you need to just go ahead and get it done. Like you can make a song on your phone. But it's like when it comes to putting in that work or living the experience, I tell people all the time, like if you turn on a Stevie Wonder song, like he's like his music is approaching the 50-year mark now, but you turn ads on and it's like
home. It's home.
It's home. But then you listen to some of the stuff that we got, like that's going down, is like, yo, I don't feel anything. Like
that is that's an interesting point to make because I love so much new music and I love so much old music.
Old music, yeah.
I love the classics. I was raised on the classics. Like there's nothing feel as good as the classic stuff. However, some of this new stuff, I'm learning to appreciate it because when at the end of the day, bro, it's all creativity. It's all art. Who are we to say what's good and what's not good? Honestly, yeah, we have what we like and what we have our opinions and we have our tastes, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, somebody's artwork, like their expression that was given to them in their brain and God gave them that gift and like they letting it out. It's like, I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. Like I'm thinking of, okay, there's the Stevie Wonder songs I love. There's Shaka Khan stuff that I love. But then there's also like Blue Bucks Clan from Cali, or you know what I'm saying, or just like I love listening to Moneybagg Yo, or I listen to, I like listening to, as this microwave generation, as a millennial, as we are, we're spread all over the place. You ask a kid nowadays what their favorite song is, your all-time favorite song, you're never gonna get an answer.
Never gonna answer.
No, because they listen to not too much. They listen to so many different things. You know what I'm saying? So a part of my class, we do this Media Monday thing. And what it is we suggest live performance videos of artists that we love, and it's a part of music appreciation. And the assignment is, even if you hate what you see, even if you hate it, you got to find something to appreciate about it, something that you can dig. So if say we watch some opera or something and they don't like the singing, they'd be like, this do not sound tight. But somebody will pop up and be like, hey, I like her dress though. Her dress is killing. Like,
yeah, right.
Appreciation. It was just like,
exactly.
Or somebody would be like, okay, I like the setup, like the lights and everything in the background. Like that's cool. You got to find parts of culture to identify with, find something like, and that's honestly what we're doing with the school. When I told kids, okay, we got to go back online to learn. Fake it, fake like it's fun, pretend, find something to be cool with, and before you know it, be like, dang, I do actually appreciate this.
And that's all a
Yeah,
part of performing, though. Sometimes you gotta fake it. Like sometimes you're not gonna like
100%,
the song, but can nobody know?
100%,
Can
100%.
nobody know that? Can nobody know that, man?
Yeah. Hey, so
And
wait, are you a musician too?
of course,
And you
man.
play? You
I go to
play?
more play drums. I'm at Morgan for vocal music performance, opera. Do a
Oh,
little
for
bit of that.
real?
Yeah, I'm graduating in May. Like
That's
I'm wrapping it up.
fire.
Yes,
That's
sir.
fire. Congrats on that.
And
That's hard.
appreciate that, man. Like one thing I've noticed, especially like in the pandemic when it comes to creatives, is fear. Like fear is like really a choke. I think that like that's the biggest thing for a lot of people is fear. And I always say to myself, like, you gotta be fearless. You gotta be fearless because you never know what stepping out does.
Mhm.
You never know who's watching you. I just read this quote this morning from Cornell West. He was like, be a voice and not an echo. Sometimes you got to step out and be you in order for
That's a bar. That's a bar.
it is. How important is it, like, just encouraging, like, being fearless, like stepping out and doing your own thing? Because I've seen you're like, I was like, yo, this is something I've never seen before, bro. Especially the past album and the live recording. Come on, like, yo,
Oh wow, wow,
this
wow, bro.
this is
I'm
next level,
bro,
man.
bro. That's so real that you even bring that question up because I'm dealing with fear right now
Wow, man.
as it pertains to releasing that album or even doing this live recording or even playing this song again. Like my song is like, bro,
Right.
that's so wild because fear is super real. It's super real. But
Yeah.
honestly, what I've learned, the stuff that we be afraid of the success, and we be afraid of having to actually step up and do that work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're not afraid that we gonna fail miserably and embarrass ourselves and this is just I'm gonna make a laughing stock of my name. Like those are legit fears, but like honestly, most of the time, like you fear of taking a risk or of some sort. Our fears are we're afraid of what's possible, of like the good things that are about to happen, and
Mm-hmm.
we're afraid. The fear is, well, if I do this, I can't just sit on my butt no more and just be lazy and let things happen no more. Like if I do,
Right.
like my wife, she tells me, she was like, I'd be kind of scared to tell you my ideas sometime because like you gonna run with it and you gonna like go for it. You're gonna make me just, you're gonna be so fired up and like I gotta do it now. I was like, oh dang, that's a real thing. Her ideas be
Yeah.
fired. So it's just like, babe,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna make us a lot of money. We gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but our fears are based more in when this thing pops off, I'm gonna have to accept it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the thing is, we're those ideas that kind of scare us, those are gifts. Those are gifts
That's what's
from
supposed to be happening. Like if it scares you, it's supposed to be happening.
you in the right
For
place
sure.
then. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
If
Right.
it's just like, oh my goodness, what the heck? That's gonna be huge. Like I'm this recording coming up, you know,
Talk about that, man. For real. That's
or even like the album that came out, bro. The album that I recorded. So we recorded in the summer of 2019, right? We recorded like July 2019, and it was fire. We rehearsed for 4 weeks, and I had the session. We recorded, boom, 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 and then I mixed it. Listening back to the stuff, I was like sitting. I would sit in my car. I would be in the garage, lights off, the music turned all the way up, just listening. Like, what the heck? Like, this is my music. Like, this is my song. Like, how
it
do it
is
feel?
clean. Like it's
Woo!
clean. That's my bit. I be telling people, like, yo, listen to this album and listen to how clean everything is. Like we
That's
get drum
crazy.
albums all the time, but I'm like, yo, listen to what he's doing.
That's crazy.
Yo, I mean, I'm like, yo, my
I
gosh, man.
appreciate that. But
Yes, sir.
I there was some fear with that. Like, okay, I've never done this before. I never really released a real album. It's just like, okay, all these eyeballs gonna be looking at me. Okay, nobody in my city is doing this like this. So it's like I'm gonna be a lot of folks is gonna be seeing this. But the thing is, the thing that kept me kept me like encouraged was like I really believed in the music. I believed in the product that I had. I was just like, you know what? No, this is fire. Even if it wasn't me, I would hear this and be like, that's fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that truth, we released the album, things went crazy. The support, my family support, my people, my village, they went crazy on purchasing it. You know what I'm saying? Not just streaming it, downloading it, but like actually going to iTunes, not Apple Music, we're going to iTunes,
And buying, purchasing.
copying it.
Yeah.
And because enough people did that, I was the album, it went number one. It was number one for about 5-6 days.
Yeah.
On the jazz charts of iTunes. And that's scary. Of course, like if you would have told me that, like, yeah, you're gonna be number one on iTunes, I'd have been like, wait, what? But it happened, you know what I'm saying? And now because that happened, so many more opportunities have opened up. And now that fear, how about this? That fear, did Beyonce say this? I think Beyonce might have said this. And I just identified with it so much that I thought I said it. But she said, the nervousness, she said, yeah, I get nervous every time I go on stage, but it's not fear nervousness. It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm about to mess up. No, it's that excitement. It's excitement. And the butterflies is like, okay, I rehearsed for this for so long. I didn't envision this performance happening so many different times. Now it's here. Now it's like, no, the things I've been doing, we rehearsing and practice over and over and over again. Now it's time. Like that's the feeling that's just like, okay, let's get it. Let's go. I don't count that as fear or nerves or being afraid, because if you didn't feel nothing, what are you doing? Why are you even performing? You know what I'm saying? You rehearse all that time, you practice all that time. Now the moment is coming for us to deliver. More of an excitement should take over. I think people get scared, but like we got to realize that like, no, that's our readiness just being built up. You know what I'm saying? To deliver.
It's so crazy that you talk about preparation. I just learned this lesson like during the pandemic. Like I think it took taking me out of the practice room, out of like voice studios and stuff to realize, okay, you singing, but you don't feel like this. You don't feel anything behind it. Like, what are you putting behind this music? And you're a dope student of like music history and stuff. And I'll be like, yo, this is crazy. Like, how is it? Or explain to people the satisfaction. Let's go back to that word. The satisfaction of studying an artist, studying a composer, studying music, and then you coming behind and performing that music and how that feels.
Yeah, that's really real. But we don't even have to keep it in music though. We don't even have to keep it. Yeah. It's just like our practices that we do, I like say whether it's rehearsing something over and over again until it gets better, or one thing that I do is I find the problem area. I find what's tripping me up and spend time on that problem area. Spend time breaking it down, slowing it down, rewind it, repeating it so many times until it becomes automatic, until it don't even feel weird no more. And then speeding it up, repeating the same thing, and then playing it faster than I'm actually going to have to play it, playing it faster, doing it all different types of ways. And then when the real moment comes for me to play it at the real tempo that I got to do, it's so easy because by that time, because I done did it 137 other times, you know what I'm saying? But like the preparation, confidence, I see the homies who play with so much confidence. I see kids on Instagram playing with so much confidence. And the only way they got there with that confidence is, they done listened to this so many times. They done rewound it so many times on their phone. They done played it sitting in traffic, and they done ran the rehearsal back so many different times. Instead of a podcast, instead of the album you want to listen to your rehearsals, record them joints. Some of the best musicians in the world that I've ever witnessed in rehearsal, Varro Johnson, Thad Johnson, Ariana.
Yeah.
They some of the best in the world, bro. And none of these dudes was reading music, okay? But what I did notice is that they all were in rehearsal, this whole like 5-day rehearsal process, they all was obsessed with their phone recordings, making sure they're in a good spot. Boom, because that's the chart. That's the chart. That's the rehearsal. And when you're listening to rehearsals, you're still rehearsing. You're hearing the cool things you did and be like, gotta remember that. Gotta do that right there every time. You're hearing the little mistakes, you're like, gotta watch out for that. I don't want to do
Because it
that
takes a
anymore.
lot of confidence to listen back to yourself. Like a lot of people,
Oh yeah. I mean,
to listen back to it,
because
like, oh,
yes, absolutely. And because we're such harsh critics of ourselves,
exactly.
recording yourself and listening back to it is some of the best practice you can do, because you're going to be really hard on yourself. You're gonna be like, I'm never doing that again. I look stupid when I do that. I hate when I do that. So I'm gonna change it.
Right.
And then the next time you up there, you remember that stuff, like, oh, I got to do like this, boom, boom, boom. Got to work it out like this, or try this. And then you're much more satisfied with the result you get. So to answer your question, to tie it back, preparation breeds confidence. I was watching this kid the other day play drums. He can make that face. He could do whatever he wants. He could make the face like, this ain't nothing. It's easy, because he's prepared so much. People be so confident in their gift because they work so hard. Now, I don't want to just tie everything to music, because not just musicians or performers are going to listen to this. You know what I'm saying? But like literally, I did a drum master class, and this dude came up to me afterwards. He was like, yeah, man. He said, I'm not a musician or anything. Oh, I'm not a professional musician or anything. He said, I'm a dentist, He said, but everything you said, as far as like your process of improvisation and learning something and then turning it into your own thing, he said, everything you said applies directly to my field. Like I do those things, exactly what you were saying. He's a dentist. Like, I don't know the first thing about dentistry, you know what I'm saying? But I do know that if you do this thing, I'm sorry, that noise went off. If you rehearse, or if you practice this thing, or if you spend enough time trying to perfect something like this and do it like this, you're going to get better at whatever it is, whether it's cooking, whether it's dentistry, whether it's designing clothes, whether it's doing hair on your YouTube or doing makeup tutorials. Like I tell my students this, like all this music stuff, it applies to, it's universal. Everything. It's universal.
Yes, same lesson, different methods, for sure.
100%.
Listen, I can't let you go without bringing up my favorite musician that's on your album. Stokely Mandela Williams is by far my.
And look, you don't say that unless you are a like for real musician.
Yo,
that's what the one thing I've noticed is, like, Stokely is the musician's musician. The average ear, like because his voice, I would say it's an acquired taste. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the people who I've noticed in life who really get down on Mint Condition, who really get down on Stokely, who really love him as an artist, they identify with the musician that he is. You know what I'm saying? And on the level that he's on. I mean, when my favorite drummer in the world calls him Big Bro, it's just like, okay, that's like Chris Dave left the college to
that's another Howard left Howard
to move to Minneapolis to play with Mint Condition. You know what I'm saying? Like that says it all right there for me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And bro, the way it happened. So Stoke is I call him the sensei. He's my sensei for sure. Like the ultimate teacher. He's my teacher's teacher. He's my big homie's big homie. You know what I'm saying? So like the respect that I have for him, it's top tier respect. But he's the coolest dude. He's the cool, like, every time we get around in the same rooms, it's a heart-to-heart conversation that I'm learning, I'm sharing. It's exactly what you need as a musical mentor, right?
Right.
And Stoke, he's influenced me in ways that he don't even know. He's influenced hundreds of thousands of musicians in ways that he really don't recognize like that. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to it, he's a student of music. He's one of the most humble cats you'll ever meet, like the coolest. Mm-hmm. And what makes it really dope is, like, yeah, you could be a student, you could be humble, but you gotta be fire too. That's the balance, bro. And not enough people talk about like the skill level. Like there's a level out here that you gotta be on, and you gotta be growing and surpass, and like that's important. And the amount of time he spends on his craft, Like it shows. Me seeing his solo show for the first time at the Orway Theater, like he was killing on a steel pan. He was dancing crazy, percussion, playing instruments. Like man, condition. It was just only one facet. Yeah, he was writing songs and singing and playing drums every now and then, recording, but like it wasn't enough for him to completely spread his wings all the way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now that he got a #1 slot on Billboard Music for R&B, he touring all over amid the pandemic. Like he deserves he deserves every ounce of success that's coming his way. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
To have him on the studio, I texted him randomly. I was just like, yo, I was like, yo, I'm in a studio this day. I would love for you to come play some percussion on a tune if you're available. Just a shot in the dark. You know what I'm saying? Just like this mug showed up to the studio. We had done probably we've done like 3-4 songs. You know what I'm saying? And we had the studio up all day. There's a knock on the door, and he just shows up. And some slides, geared up. He always geared up. But he got some slides on, just like he came ready to play some percussion. And so the song that he's on, Did It Done, which is a goofy name, but I just didn't come up with a better one. But Did It Done, he's on that song. He listened to it in the studio, and this is exactly what he did. He sat in the middle in the control booth, and he turned the volume up. And he just sat like this for the whole song. He sat with his hand on his forehead and just eyes closed and just listened to the whole thing. And granted, it's loud, it's going crazy. The drums, everybody screaming, piano, organ screaming. And then he came out and we had a whole big old percussion rig set up. And he was like, you do this part. He said, I'm gonna do this part. He's like, you try this part. Boom, boom. And if I tell you, we didn't sound like an authentic African drum circle.
How did it feel to like, because Mint Condition is known for like drum interludes
and percussion. Yes.
How to make your own with the snap! I got excited with the guy,
the greatest. And the thing is, it wasn't like what I expected, but at the same time, it was, of course, it was exactly what we expected. Okay, there was one rhythm that one of the homies was having trouble with that Stokely was given, and it was so African sounded. It was like, wow. And just holding it down, it's just like, and locking it in with I was just like, this dude is giving us like authentic like patterns, like and mind you, percussion is Stokely's first instrument.
Correct.
When he was 2 years old. He had to stand on a step stool to play the congas. You know what I'm saying? So like that's where he lived. So I just told him like, man, just take it home. Just go home. He was like, let's do it. And it showed me that like, no matter what level you get on, no matter who you become, stay in love with just the craft. He loves the craft of the art of recording. You know what I'm saying? So he came through, he made it happen, and it was like, it was nothing for him. It was everything for me. It's like that's huge to have your mentor, your an icon in your life. You know what I'm saying? Give their time, play on your record, come through, man. It's a beautiful thing.
That's big because like I had to like literally get on my knees and like cry out to God, like, God, don't let me lose the love. Sometimes we get in whatever we do, like whether it be music, creating, cooking, like sometimes we can get so lost in the work that we forget, like, yo, this is what you love to do. And the fact that you just said that, man, that goes back to everything. Like, it's the same lesson, but there's different methods of just what to do. Like, you just got to be willing to put that work in.
All the way.
Dude, let's get back into the live recording coming up, man. What can we expect from this joint coming up?
I got a couple new joints. I got a couple new songs. I'm gonna record live versions of a couple of the joints from the record, from the first Big Homie record. This one is gonna be called I think it's gonna be called Big Homie Live in Minneapolis. Live in Minneapolis. Why Minneapolis? Because I freaking love my city, even though I be talking about it like crazy. I love my city.
It's home.
And people have to know that like this sound is very special, is particular to this region. Bro, I heard some unreleased vault tracks from Prince.
Don't tell me that, bro.
Bro,
Don't,
listen, no,
yo,
listen, bro.
don't tell me that, bro.
And he was talking about being black in Minnesota,
That's
in like
crazy.
living the life we live here. And it sounded so funky, it sounded so churchy. I was just like, no wonder this unreleased. Like the record
Too
labels wasn't
much.
trying to let this out. Yeah, they weren't trying to let
It's
this
too much.
fire into the streets. Like, but you know, I feel like I have a responsibility, low key, and like I have to uphold a standard of greatness. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Even if I'm not doing pop music, if I'm not singing or playing rock and roll or whatever, it's like, yeah, I gotta be killing no matter what it is. And honestly, you know, I'll say this: we did some shows at this venue before, and it was recorded, but they wasn't on the level that I needed them to be on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually applying the pressure, low key. The band is like rehearsing intently for this specific night. You know what I'm saying? We listening to our rehearsal recordings, you know what I'm saying, back and forth to figure out the decisions that we want to keep, figure out the things that we want to get rid of, you know, improvements that we want to make compositionally, and coming back and putting them together. So we got a new horn player too. My homie Chris Rochester. Actually one of my bosses, Chris Rochester, is going to play on the saxophone. He went to Berkeley. He's a Berkeley cat, phenomenal teacher, working on his doctorate right now at the U of M. Yeah, he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. But yeah, man, honestly, all my shows, bro, it'd be so much like church. It'd be so much like family vibe. It'd be so much like, sometimes I'd be having students come in and sit in and play. And I did that the last couple of shows. But this is going to be, you know, my only focus is the recording, is the music, right? Yeah, I want people to come through. I want people to enjoy it. But like, I'm recording video that night. I'm selling more merch that night. But this recording, the quality of it, we just gonna be, I'm in rare form. Nas said I'm in rare form. And that's, I totally feel that way. Like, it's, and I mean, the visuals and it's a lot of work, but you know, my main concern about the recording is the people coming, you know, and I've put on the flyer, like, masks are strongly encouraged, please mask up.
Yeah.
But even if like a whole lot of people don't come, I'm hoping we can still have it. You know what I'm saying? Because they shutting down school today. My show ain't for 2 weeks. Hopefully we can still have it. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna speak nothing negative. I'm gonna just keep my feet towards the fire. I'm gonna keep grinding out, and we're gonna see what happens, man. We're gonna see what happens. And I'm excited for it, bro. I'm excited.
For me, college, these years in undergrad have been the years where I discovered what I want to do with the rest of my life, through my dreams, through my experiences.
Yeah.
As a dreamer, especially in the college, like in that college time period of your life, as a dreamer, how did you approach your dreams? Or how did you go after your dreams?
That's an awesome question. I always knew I wanted to be a drummer, even when I was a kid. I knew I wanted to be a performing drummer, to play music around the world for people, and that's what I wanted. But I didn't know how to make a living, so I was kind of afraid of my dream. Somebody told me, "You'll be a drummer. You ain't gonna make no money doing. You ain't gonna make money doing that.
Yeah.
But find something else to do." And that kind of scared me in 6th grade. It scared me to like, okay, I've been playing drums in church. I'm on fire at it. I really want to do this for my life, but people keep telling me like I'm gonna be poor. So okay, I gotta figure out. I got a decent voice. I could do journalism, sports broadcasting. I can do figure that out. So it took me a while. I did 2 years of community college, not really pursuing. I did some music classes, but there's a moment in my life where it turned around, just like, you know what, we ain't got a whole lot of time left here on this planet. Ain't no reason why you should be doing something you don't completely love, doing a job you hate. Like, no, it's time to, I'm gonna risk it all. To be a dreamer, you got to take a risk. You got to be risky to be a dreamer. For dreams to work out for you, you got to take that risk. I don't know. I say this to people all the time. There's not one risk that I've taken in life that has completely just crashed and burned and just like ended me and just failed. Like, no, a risk that, remember that fear that we was talking about, fear of what can happen. That's all positivity. The risks are like positive risks. You know what I'm saying? So to tie it back to a college student, there's several moments when I end up going to music school. After community college, I went to a music school where I should have been my entire post-secondary, you know what I'm saying, career. I should have started off in the music school. Never mind what people said about my dreams. When I was there, even moments when I was there, when I'm killing it, I'm crushing it, I'm doing my thing, I'll be in the practice room trying to figure some stuff out or charting stuff out or writing a chart. And I used to be like so frustrated and be thinking to myself like, okay, is this really what I'm about to do with my life? I remember like 5-6 different moments for real. I'd be sitting in the room, be like, okay, I'm about to be a drummer, but like, what does that even look like? One word of encouragement I want to give is like, well, nobody's just going to just do one thing. We don't even live in that world anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like our parents lived in a world where they could work a job for 19 years and be cool, get a pension and all that. That's awesome. However, right now, we don't live in that world where we just do one thing. And to live comfortable, how mugs want to live, how we want to live, we have to have several different passions, several different hustles, several different side jobs to survive. I mean, I'm saying we have to, we don't have to, but the trend that I'm noticing lately with a lot of people that I look up to, a lot of people who are successful around me, is they do multiple things. You know, my sister is probably one of the most hustlingest, most successful people I know. She is a hairstylist. She was a social worker at a school. She designs clothes. She writes books. She's an author. She's a, you know what I'm saying? She does so many things. She's an artist, a songwriter and singer, a songwriter, a rapper. She does so many things well that all these things could kind of turn up some revenue for her, and she's able to do her thing. But as for dreamers and for those the students, you know, in school, those moments, if you don't have those moments where you questioning yourself, then it's just like, well, what are we doing? Wow. You know what I'm saying? You gotta question yourself. You gotta, you know, seek your own validity. You gotta make sure that the reasons that you're doing it is the reasons that are pure to you, not to compare yourself to somebody to try to get better than this person or to try to outshine. No. It's like, you know, this conversation is for people who have a passion, who are in love with what they do. You know what I'm saying? If you stay true to your passion, it'll work out for you. If you stay true to it. Honestly, college students, y'all got to understand, like, y'all are at the age where, you know, we supposed to be broke in college, low key, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not abnormal to be broke in college. I know some students right now who they see Instagram, they see people making all this bread at their age and like doing all this stuff. It's just like, it don't really come at this moment in life. You got to live some life. You got to have some experiences. You got to lose friends and make new friends. And you got to, you know, you got to struggle a little bit. You got to be hungry a little bit to appreciate really having some bread, really having it with every, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and my views on school and college are very, very different from other folks anyway. So we don't even have to, I don't think college will be around in the next 10 years. College will be a thing of the past. And we're going to talk about it like, y'all remember when we was going to college? Y'all remember when you had to go to college? Well, back in my day, you had to go to college to even do something like this. You had to go to college. That's how we're going to talk about it, bro. So while it's still relevant online school, relevant online degree, relevant, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get mugs in the mindset. Like, it's optional for my baby, and for my household. Post-secondary education is completely optional. It's an option, because if you don't 100% need it to do your thing, why waste time? Why become in debt to the government? Why? You know what I'm saying? But that's another podcast. Amen.
Where do you think we as a people are headed this year and beyond?
I feel like we kind of got like a test run of what we're supposed to do when things shut down, or, you know, like these last couple of years, it's been a test run. But I think as things get crazier in the world, human beings are still going to be surviving, bro. We're gonna make the best out of the situation, like we've always done, especially our people. We're gonna deal with whatever's happening. We're still gonna be creating fire art. We're still gonna have hilarious freaking memes in GIFs. It's still gonna be, people still gonna be able to be creative. Now it's another thing with like these NFTs that are popping up, and like how currency is moving into another direction with crypto and all of that. Like that's one thing that I've been really, interested in and investing in and just trying to learn. It's a whole nother education though.
You gotta keep up
takes
on
so
it.
much. You gotta keep up on it, and it
You
takes
gotta keep up on
time. It takes time, but I have a good feeling about this little crypto thing, man. I feel like we gonna make some bread. We gonna be breaded up if we invest in like the new way of doing, like stock market, like that's the old school way. That's how it's been working for a lot of folks. But like this crypto thing, I feel like it's about to take over, and it's scary. But like, I feel like it's that good fear though that we was talking about. That healthy fear was just like something good is gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna change a lot of things. Yeah, we gotta change. We gotta learn new stuff and operate differently. And most just be scared to change. You know what I'm saying? Because we just be so comfortable where we at. But the crypto thing, we as a people, the world is gonna keep moving, and we gonna keep moving with it, bro. That's just how I feel. We gonna keep. We haven't been stopped yet. So yeah.
Tell me how you feel about this. I've been thinking about it for since it started, and studying, putting what has happened in the past together with what's happening now. I feel like our generation, we're entering in a new Renaissance era. If you peep in history, whenever the world struggles and people, everybody goes through something, things are birthed from pain, and things that are substantial, whether it be our grandparents generate civil rights, whether it be you go all the way back to the actual Renaissance era.
Yeah.
Like if you really think, people went through, and then everything grew. Like it's growing pains almost. Like you gotta go through something for it to stick.
No, Steve, that's so true, bro. Like the ugliest moments in America was also got to show some of the most beautiful
Absolutely.
parts of us. That's real. That's real. Like okay, after the Great Depression, then it was a rebirth of art, of the Renaissance era. Definitely. That's what we on right now. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're gonna keep creating. We're gonna be surviving this thing. New things are being created, new ways of making money, new ways of investing and sharing and trading, and we're just gonna keep it going. Now, the world is so corrupt and scary and weird and violent, and but that's exactly the same thing that people were saying when we was born, and that's the thing that our ancestors said when our parents and grandparents was being born. The world ain't getting no safer or more friendly or more peaceful. You know what I'm saying? Only on our individual accounts, like only on what we can control on our own. But like the government, and it's always been evil. It's always been crazy. But our beauty as human beings, as creatives, our beauty as Black people too. Because I can't be afraid to say that. You know what I'm saying? Saying Black doesn't cancel out anything else. Just saying Black just appreciates Black. It appreciates the specialness of Blackness and the uniqueness of Blackness in our creation. So us as Black people, you know what I'm saying, we gonna thrive, bro. No matter what this world, no matter what cards are dealt to us, we're gonna be fine. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. The pain, online school, we can't be in person teaching music. But like, I really don't have that much to complain about, bro. I can't complain, bro. No matter what, no matter how twisted the world is, I be thinking about like this, Steve. and this is another podcast too, and this is gonna be kind of, but this is kind of crazy. But like, bro, I'm still grateful I can even call myself a musician still in the world that we're living in, because there may become a time, and this is scary, but there may come a time where we won't be able to be musicians for our living. We might have to get other job 9-to-5 jobs to even survive. Like, who's to say?
Yeah.
So I count it a blessing, no matter what situation we're gonna be in. Yes, online teaching sucks, but whatever, man. I'm gonna deal with it, and we're gonna thrive through it, and we still gonna create dope stuff, no matter what card is thrown at us, no matter what card is thrown at us. If slavery didn't completely wipe us all the way out, then we got more. We got more to do. We can come back from a virus. We can come back. We can create mid pandemic. We can create. We can thrive. And, bro, a lot of people. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I know a lot of folks who made more bread than they ever made in their life in a pandemic. You know what I'm saying?
In the pandemic, bro.
You say, or or people are realizing their own value as well. Like,
Like
you
just
can't,
sitting down.
yeah, and you can't just hire anybody to work for crumbs anymore at said restaurant, at whatever. You know what I'm saying? You have to, like, mugs they want what they worth. You know what I'm saying? And people is realizing the worth. I know my prices definitely went up due to COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yeah. And
bro.
and people are valuing me, and the more people value you, the more you're going to value yourself. You'd be like, wait, no, this is how it should be all the time. It's those certain gigs that come up. You'd be like, yeah, we want to give this to you. Is this okay for you? You'd be like, heck yeah, that's okay with me. You're like, definitely, I'm gonna take that bread. Like, but to myself, I'm thinking, like, it should be looking like this all the time. If this random person who don't really know me like that, who don't live in my city, is willing to give me this to come perform and do this, like, and I'm finna show out. I'm finna show my butt doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to kill it. I should be getting this every single time, just to leave a crib, just to set up drums, just to pack the drums in the whip and fill gas and then load the drums up. Being a drummer, you got to be the first one there and the last one to leave every gig. That's just how the time works out. That's how it works. But like, no, that I'm getting compensated for that. And if it's not compensating, then I get to be at home with at the crib with wifey and the baby, watching our shows, cooking my meals, doing what I want to do anyways. You know what I'm saying? So mugs have realized their worth in this pandemic. So I think it's just more of that, to come up. And I don't like focusing and spending a lot of time on the negative things. We need to acknowledge the negative things. I just did this in class today. Some of the kids, they was walking in with attitude because they know that today's our last day of in person before we go online for quote unquote 2 weeks. But the students, they was complaining and whoop, whoop, whoop. I was like, all right, y'all, I got room for 2 more complaints, 2 more negative comments, and that's all we going and that's all we gonna let out. Okay, who gonna say what? I say, not a positive thing. We get to be at the crib, and then they start laughing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you gotta find those things. And it's like, okay, I told my students, if I see you showing up, just trying to make an effort, showing up to the class when we got class, answering the question when I ask a question, typing in the comment box, doing whatever. If I see you putting forth a little effort, you ain't got to worry about your grade, because it's a effed up situation we in anyways, to be even worried about grades and assignments and schoolwork, and like, what, especially in a music class. So it's just like, you know what, y'all gonna work with me, I'm gonna work with y'all. That's what it is. And that's how we have to take it in this pandemic, with whatever it is. You know what, face it, face the facts, face that okay, it's whack. But the quicker we face it and accept it, the quicker we can move on to whatever can be good about this thing.
As we're closing this thing out, what advice do you have to the person who is trying to find their passion?
It's a really great question because I know I know a lot of people who are really good at a lot of things, but they don't have that specific thing that they just love and that drive the way that I have music and the drums specifically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I count that as a blessing. I see that as a blessing that God gave me this love, this passion for this thing, because you know people see me play and they be inspired to like do their thing more and more and more. So to the people who are looking for that passion, I would say, and I don't know if this is going to work, but I would say there's things that you already do that you like to do, that you love to do, but you're not giving them the attention that you would a passion. Some people who are still looking for their passion already are already passionate about this thing, but maybe it's a fear, or maybe it's comparison in your mind with like, well, I don't do this the way that so and so does it, so it's not. I ain't gonna do it. I don't really want to. But it's like your passion is unique to you, so there's really no one else who can instruct you on how to do your version of your passion.
Wow.
All of it comes from you, and you can be inspired. Something can inspire you. God can give you something, a word, or it's some inspiration, or give you a vision, but I would say for the people who are looking for their passion, there's things that you do that you're already passionate about. I would say really spending time focusing attention on, I don't know, because it's different for everybody. And this has always been a hard question for me. And people say, well, I don't have the drums like you got, like you in love with that, like you can just escape to that, and that feeds you. It's therapy. It's boom, boom, boom. But I would say for the people who are looking for that passion, you already love certain things. You already have something you're passionate about. I would say drop the fear. Oh, you can't just drop fear, but just like drop the fear and really try to pursue what's in the back of your mind, or that thing that I don't know if this is really going to work. The only way to see that it will work is if you step out on that faith and accept, okay, yeah, I'm scared to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm gonna try it.
Wow.
I'm gonna try it. And one thing, constructive criticism, constructive
Wow,
criticism.
that's another one that,
Now, and some people want to offer you things that can't really help you, just to get their opinion out. Some people offer you things that is like, it's opinion, but like, listen, take everything with a grain of salt. What does that mean? Don't change your entire life just off of what somebody said, good or bad. Or bad. My mom told me that about prophecies in church. Like, don't try to change your whole entire mission and goal. Like, you just keep living, keep doing what you're doing. And if it's real, it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to lose my train of thought. I said, criticism. Some of it is healthy. You know what I'm saying? And if you can get into a position where you could watch yourself, critique yourself, you know what I'm saying? I keep thinking of Michael Jordan saying, I took it personal. I took it personal. I took it personal. You know what I'm saying? But one thing, it's so hard not to take things personal. It's so difficult to not take things personal. But I would say any piece of criticism you receive, I would say accept it. And if you can adjust, adjust.
Wow.
Now, I'm leaving it at that. Accept criticism. That's healthy. Accept healthy criticism. And if you can adjust. Because no matter what somebody says to you, good or bad. If somebody says something bad about whatever you're doing, like, yeah, I don't know why you wore that today. Even if you be like, I don't care what you say, this, that, and the other, you're gonna be thinking about that mug, and you're gonna think about it. You're gonna be thinking about it whenever you pick that thing back up to put it back on. You're like, you're gonna weigh it against another option. You know what I'm saying? So like, what I would say, not even just receiving criticism, but giving criticism too. We have to be very intentional on our deliveries.
Yeah.
I know I'm off topic of what you said about.
No, you're good, man. This is.
But like even when we're giving criticism too, like you got to make sure you point out something that was dope and something that could make it doper. Not necessarily something that's wrong or something you need to fix this. No. I was like, you know what make it even better is if you boom, boom, boom. It's the delivery of the criticism too. You know what I'm saying? It makes it way easier to accept. Oh, one-on-one constructive criticism instead of group, instead of in front of the whole entire collective, instead of the whole entire band saying it in this way. How about we deliver it on the side? It was like, hey, could we try boom, boom, boom? You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, man.
It's a way. So I was definitely all over the place on this call. So
nah, you weren't, bro. Yo, you're fine, bro. LA, I appreciate your time, bro. For real,
great, bro. This was awesome.
This is good stuff right here, man.
Yes, sir.
Check this out, everybody who's about to tune into this joint, because we're not doing it live. We're recording it.
Okay.
Y'all, remember to be a voice. Don't be an echo, you know. Write the vision, make it plain, recite it, and go after it. That's my addition to the script.
Oh, the add on to the script. Okay.
Like write the vision, make it plain, recite it like it's yours, then go after that joint, you know. Yeah, we expecting God to do stuff for us, but in the meantime, we can be doing something.
And like we can believe all we want, but if we don't put no work behind it, we ain't moving nowhere.
It's vain, bro. It's vain.
Yeah.
Straight like that.
Yes, sir.
Bro, appreciate you, man. We about this joint. Yo, y'all be safe. Awesome. Keep y'all masked up. Peace out.
Stay masked up, man. Masked up, man. Do that. Let's get it.
If you guessed Larry Graham, you're right. Larry Graham is the creator of Slap Bass, who played with Sly and the Family Stone, Graham Central Station, and Prince, just to name a few. This has been the question of the day. Peace out.